you know, the ones on the roofs, I don't see anything wrong with them, but if you really start and get a large bunch of acreage, that's a different thing. At least it's just my opinion.
Okay, anybody else? Yes.
Well, I agree with Mr. Berscheid. I've been looking at some of the areas that they want to put these solar panels up, and it isn't the same as having them on your roof. And I have seen the ones that are out at the college, and it's quite cumbersome, and I think some of the area that they want to put it in, I don't think it's right. I think it needs to be someplace where it's off the road where you cannot see them. And I do think that it takes away from the aesthetics of this area if we have too many of them. And I, for one, wouldn't want to be waking up and seeing them outside my window. So, because they're not pretty at all. The windmills don't bother me, but the solar panels do. And I think somehow or another we do have to reach out to the people. Maybe make an announcement, have a hearing. The people need to know what these things really look like when they're grouped together. I mean, isn't there a project that I heard some of the Logan property, they want to put there's 600 acres in there somewhere. They want to put solar panels in there. I mean, really? I mean, that's right off the road. I agree with Mr. Berscheid. I think it's just going to take off, and I think we're going to be in trouble.
Yes, sir.
Since we're having a discussion, I can answer the question that Skip asked, which is, how do we know what people think? Because we actually asked in the survey of the townspeople what they think, and the majority are in favor of seeing more solar and larger scale solar and wind facilities, believe it or not. But having said that, there is a limit to the size of a solar facility that is allowed by the law of the town of Palatine, and that's 20 acres. So that pretty much puts an absolute constraint on what's going to happen here, unless, unfortunately, the law of the town of Palatine gets superseded by state law, which allows very large facilities like the 1,000-acre one about to be built south of the river.
We are seeing some of that activity
What
now.
kind of replies, how many replies did you have to the?
I'll get you the numbers.
Good.
I mean, if it was, I mean, I don't know how many people we have in this town, but we should have at least, I would say 2/3 of the people spoken to about this before we come to a conclusion whether or not they really want it. And people need to really look at these and see what they're like. Like again, I mean, to me, I mean, I've looked at the windmills. They don't seem to bother me as much as these solar panels do. And I think that they take away rather than add to the area. And we do want to leave a lot more in agriculture down here. So I think anyway, but anyway.
Land use and our planning board are very important going
Yeah.
ahead. Yes. No. Yes, sir.
We lost some very good town board members over that wind stuff. And a lot of people, neighbors, hated one another when they got done, and I'm not so sure that's ever gone away. I asked the representative, the lady from this last one, what I said was, you know, I think what we found out was that with the wind generators, it didn't make much difference whether they ever generated any at all, because the federal subsidies is what they were after. And I said to her, is it the same here? And I think the lady said, yes. That's the thing we've got to take under consideration. And I said, all right, what's the life expectancy of these things? Well, 20 years. And I said, well, what happens after that? Well, whose ever land they're on, they can have them. Look, I got that right directly from the people that represented these companies.
Well, those agreements now, people are starting to ask more questions, and exit strategy and bonding is being required, and our planning board is,
They're doing a
cognizant
very
of that.
good job.
Yes.
And after all, our planning board are protecting themselves as well as the rest of us, right?
Well, we live here too.
Okay. Is there anybody else? Yes, sir.
Not necessarily some comments tonight, but I have a couple questions. Number one, sitting here, and maybe I missed it, did you set a date for your public hearing for your budget?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
When is that?
What was it?
November
15th or 13th? 13th.
November 13th at 6:30.
No. Second question is, are there copies of the budget for the public?
Excuse me,
Copies of the
Jim?
budget for the public.
Oh, sure. I think, isn't there some
No,
over there?
No, because it was just a preliminary, we hadn't voted on it
Okay.
yet. So we voted on it tonight to
You'll have
accept
one
it,
to
so
go
you'll
home.
have it, you'll have it.
Yes.
Second or third, can you tell me, because you did accept the preliminary budget, and I'm assuming that all board members looked at it, but not one board member commented, was there money in there for snow plowing for next year? And how, and if there is or isn't, how was that handled?
The figures that the highway superintendent gave as his suggested figures to go in the budget were adhered with. We didn't cut him in any way. Some of the stuff was shifted to recognize the difference between the in-town and town-wide.
Was the tax-
Everybody has a pretty good tax reduction. The people in the villages a little more, so. You can leave here with a copy of the budget, no problem.
Okay.
Glad to give it to you.
But do you know that line item? Because with no disrespect, I just asked your bookkeeper and she doesn't know that.
I don't offhand, no. Kelly worked with that and she has all that information.
And her comment as she.
I was concerned with the total picture there and how the villages were getting treated. It's going to take a couple of years to get this shifted the way that we want it. I understand
So
your
then I would just
concern, and you have to come up with your budget, and it'll be mid-November or at the latest, early December. And we will sit down with the two mayors and go through everything as thoroughly as we can for you.
Okay, with that said, I would just then make the public comment as a reminder, and these were your figures, not mine. Last year, the town charged the village of Palatine Bridge by way of taxes, $89,000.
Somewhere's in that neighborhood, that's
No,
right.
it was $89,000 for a service that you told the board and the public that cost the town $22,000.
That's right.
So,
Your numbers are right.
there's a huge surplus. You also mentioned during numerous conversations between yourself and I, during public meetings and private meetings, that you, meaning the town board, would be working off of that surplus probably at least the next 2 years.
Yes.
Okay, to pay for that. So again, I would think it would be a simple question to ask, did that line item go down from collecting $89,000 in one single year to X dollars for next year? And that would be above and beyond any so-called money that you would expect to see from the village, because again, and I know I'm repeating, you have mentioned that you already have the money, and you really have it for the next 2 years. So and I'm just trying to be straightforward, I would have thought it would be a simple question, did that line item go down, or was it eliminated? And I still don't think I have an answer.
No, I can't give you any firm answers there until Kelly has the accounts straightened out in that. But if we load the budget with less money, that gives everybody a tax reduction, I know we're going in the right direction. I don't have the exact numbers to give you, Jim.
Okay. We'll leave it at that, and my last comment will be, and I know I'm repeating, you continually say the budgets are going down and the taxes are going down, and that's a great comment, and that's a good thing. Nobody wants to have high taxes, okay? But I still don't think we're answering the question.
No,
You
I
took
haven't
it.
answered your question.
Well, thank you.
More to come.
Good budget.
we're doing the best that we can with what we have to work with. Any other comments? Yes.
Excuse me, Paul Spencer. Earlier throughout the meeting, one time throughout the meeting, you mentioned we purchased the Pizza Hut. Have we purchased the Pizza Hut?
As of the 12th of October, we own it.
Okay. I was told down the county that as of the, forget the date now.
The county doesn't talk, give me a name.
Sean Donovan.
I have a letter from
He
him.
told me it was still in limbo.
No, I have a letter from him,
Okay, good. We do own it.
black and white. We
We
own it.
do, then we do officially own it.
The town of Palatine owns it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. No more comments, motion to close public comment?
That motion?
Second. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn? Second.
I'm sorry.
All those in favor say aye.
Get a hold of my wife.